Hello. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? I am here to share everything that I have learned with you, my brothers and my sisters, and my queens. How are you doing today? Are you enjoying your queenship? Hmm? Well, you should be, because being a conqueror, a queen like we are, I know you are overcoming any and every little obstacle in your way. Because, first of all, you know who got you to this point, right? God, right? Okay, not your haters. Never give them that glory, girl. Unless you're going to say, if it were for you, I'll still be where you are. Okay, now today's podcast is a very serious and special podcast. Okay. This podcast is about a fatherless son. Okay. Meaning a son without a father, a strong male representation in his home. Okay. Now, if a son is raised without his father, he will try to find his father in the streets, right out there in them streets. And that is one awful thing for a black mommy, to have the streets to raise our son. We have to have a strong male figure in our son's life. Okay? And that job is for the father. Because if he go out there in those streets and he find that father and the streets raise him, then the judge will be his mother. In prison will be his home. We don't need that. We have enough writing on our names as Black mothers in Black America. You understand me? Okay. Now I'm going to say that again. If the father is not around to raise his son, he'll go out there in those streets and find a father figure, and the streets will raise him, and the judge will be his mother, and prison will be his home. Okay? Now, when we look at Black America and we see our obstacles and ups and downs are caused by our own people, you feel me? Um, what I would strongly suggest is try to be as intelligent as you possibly can. Never speak in anger. Don't do that. Think sensibly. Do that. Okay? Now, there are 8 different father figures. I did my research on this one, but I came up with 2 extra ones. But the first one, I'm about to read that one to you. I'm gonna read you the first father. Okay. Now here we go. Um, mm, the first father we have is a Disney father, the Disney dad. That's the father who is always there for his son. He will miss a basketball game to go to a PTA meeting. He will miss a night out with his very best friend to be with his son. Yes, wow. It's very few fathers like that in Black America, who literally is there when their son needs them at all times. I mean, it's very few of those guys. And because of that, the crime rate in Black America is the way it is, because a lot of guys that's out there in the streets and they want to be thug fastic or thug tastic, or the street generals, inside they are really scared little boys who haven't had a father figure, a strong male figure in their life. Now everyone has a father. 2 women can't make a baby and 2 men cannot make a baby. I do not discriminate against anyone with their choice of who they want to be with, who they gonna love, who they gonna marry. That's you. But it takes 2 to make a child. and two, to raise a child. So all you Disney dads out there who like to spend time with your sons and raise your sons and set boundaries and grounds and show them how to be a man in this whole world, Black America and white America. Yes, I commend you. I love you, and don't stop. Keep on doing it, baby. Keep doing that. I tell you, Denise Jenkins is your very, very big fan. Okay, guys? All right. Now, number two, mm, it is the hollow dad. The hollow, you know. Now, this dad, the hollow dad, um, he's not really an attention giver. You know, he's there, but he's not all the way there. Okay. Now, it says here that he is home. He at home, but he is emotionally absent and he's in the home, but he still don't do things with his son. He's in the home. A lot of people have those kind of fathers, because we all have fathers, but we all have different versions of fathers. Okay. Now, number three, we have here uh the Stone Cold Steve Austin type, the ones who are quick to grab a beer and emotionally abusive to his son and physically abusive to his son. Like if your son is always doing well, he don't notice that. He only notices when his son mess up and make a mistake. Then there goes the whip. He ready to abuse this child. Um, he don't give him any kind of guidance, but abuse. Generally, this type of father is abusive to the mother as well. Really, he is. Wow. Okay. Now, number four. Here we have the angel. Yeah, no, Stone Cold. And who else do we have here? Number four. Okay. Number four. I can't get the emotional distance father, which is the same thing. He's not there, but he's there. And the only time that he pays attention is when he is engaged in something negative with his son. He's not there wholeheartedly, you know? And those type of fathers, every child can do without. Every one of us can do without that kind of father, He's there, but he's not there. Okay. Number five is the hiding seek. That hide and seek type of father, you know what I mean? Okay. This dad, he has a distance relationship with the mother. Okay. So now, because of his distance with the mother, he will be distant with his son. And anyone or anything could get in the way of his time with his son. And that's not a good thing that you do, you know? Hide and seek fathers. Mom, where's dad? Has dad been here this weekend? Can I see dad? Mom, did dad call? Where's dad? That dad, the hide and seek type. Your son got to look for you. You don't make phone calls to check on your kid because you're not involved with the mother anymore. That is not cool at all. Okay. Now, here we have number six, the divorcee. He's that in and out type, in and out dad. He does have a court order to be there every other weekend with his son, but he doesn't do it. But he occasionally shows up in and out, in and out, in and out. There's no time for him to build structure, to teach his son how to be a man. You know what I mean? How to navigate through stressful situations. And for a black male in black America, we need to have strong male figures for our sons. You understand me, right? We need to have strong men in our son's life because that is the role of a father. That's the role of a father. Okay. Now, here we go with number 7. And I tell you, this is the invisible dad, the one who is never there. He's never in or out. He is never there at all. He knows he has a son. He knows that he bore a kid. Not bore a kid, but he provided, the other half. He knows this, but he's not there, not around when he need an advice on something. He's not around. He's not there for his son. You don't take him to baseball games, take him to work, take him to fly a drone or play with his remote control cars. None of that stuff. You just never around. And whatever it is that has you occupied, you find that more important than your own son. And that is not good. I remember I heard one of Tupac's songs, one of his raps, and he said when his father passed away, he could not mourn for a stranger because the anger inside, it wouldn't let him because he wasn't there through those difficult and hard times. So his anger would not let him feel for a stranger. You know, he gave all the props to the man who took his mother's hand in marriage. And because of that man, we had Tupac Shakur. Because of that man, not his father, but that one, the Black Panther. Okay? Now, here, the angel dad is the dad that is deceased. He cannot be there. He's not on earth. He's not here. That's very painful for a child. Very. And in his place, we have our brothers. Brothers. Our brothers are their uncles. On our brothers from the mother, our his father's brothers, they become that strong male figure in that boy's life. And he don't have to go out in the streets to try and find a father. You feel me? Let me tell you about these type kids. They grow up fatherless, without a father. No one to engage in manly conversations. No one to teach them how to shave a beard, do their tie right, tie their shoes. You know, these kids, they grow up emotionally disorientated. They are poor in finances, some of them, um, poor in their mind. They really don't have respect for any woman, you know, because there was nobody there to teach them how to treat a woman, how to be with a woman. No one was there. And that is not good. These children, they end up dropping out of school, joining gangs, dying at a very young age because there's no guidance. There's no role model, no male role model, no one strong in their life. Because just like deadbeat dads, there are deadbeat uncles, deadbeat grandfathers too. They know they have a grandson over there or uncle over there. And God forbid if mommy meet the wrong kind of guy who is abusive verbally, mentally, emotionally, oh, physically, laying hands. That's not a good role model for a black male. in Black America. Not one. They are constantly getting in trouble. They are constantly in and out of jail because they found their father in the streets. They have picked up ways from other men in the streets. Older men as well are out there ready to teach our sons bad habits, ready to encourage them to do bad things, you know? And that is not good, fathers. Your job is to enlighten your son, to build him to be the man he's supposed to grow up and be. Your job is to let him find balance, set boundaries, show him how far to go with a woman, how far to go in life, how to dress for a job interview, how to drive a car. Your job as a father is to be there, whether or not you and the mother are in a intimate relationship or not. That woman did not make that boy by herself. Now, whatever it is, whoever it is that you are putting before your son, you're messing up. You're leaving this child vulnerable to anyone. Anyone could do him and be his father. Anyone could get him to do something if he find that man out there in those streets interesting. And this person may be some sort of a narcotics dealer, a gambler, anything, a pimp, something, because in the street, there is nothing out there but trouble. So you're leaving your kid, your son, vulnerable to getting in trouble, not taking interest in his schooling. He is going to be mentally disturbed, poor in his mental. Things that should be important to him in life will not matter to him because you're not there to teach him, to mold him into the man that he was supposed to be molded into. That is not a good thing because this is a young Black male. Right now, if your son is 10 years old, that's a critical age because in 3 years, he'll be 13. And if you haven't set a foundation with him from the beginning, there's no way he's going to grow up to be a responsible man. In and out of his life does not count. Bringing toys, money, or whatever, it doesn't count. Some sons are always constantly asking, Mom, where's dad? And if you do have your son with you and you just drop him off to your mother's house while you go somewhere else, that's not being in his life. You leaving him with his grandmother. You're not there. That is not good. I know a young lady who bought her son entire Christmas, everything. She spent at least $2,500 on Christmas toys because his father is barely ever there. Barely ever. And when he does come, he comes and deal with her instead of spending time with his son. So when he comes there, he's in the room with mommy. He's not out there in the open having a father-son communicative time. He's not communicating with his son. He just came there to satisfy mommy. And the son is in the next room. And then after that, he's gone. She says he never called. School in the morning time, you can't pick up the phone to call your son and say, "Have a great day at school, son. I'm going to drop something off to mom for you." That's not being a good father. A lot of men in this world who are good fathers, they don't get the credit that they deserve. If they're separated from the mother and this father not getting along, the child suffers. Your son is suffering. He's vulnerable, like a cat with no nails. You know how you get your cats? We bring them home, we love them, and we go get them denailed, and then they go outside and they don't have nothing to protect themselves with. The nails are been gone. So if another cat or a dog come along for a fight, they're defenseless. And that's how a male child is when his father is not in his life. He's vulnerable. So he got to fight. He got to make it clear to people he is not no person who you can mess around with. Then comes the black on black crime. Then comes the making a baby and leaving the mama to be the pappy while you roam around and make other children. Then there's the responsible black man who copying you because you're not responsible. You're not raising your child. You too busy doing whatever it is out there in this world that you're doing, and you don't find your fathership important. That is not cool. You know, one movie that I really admire and I like about black males is Barbershop with Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, and all of these guys. They talk about real issues. They educate the young black men that come into that barbershop. They tell them about civil rights days without civil rights. They have pictures of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Stephen Biko. They have Medgar Evers in their barbershop. They're telling them about the old days when black people respected themselves. I think a barbershop, every barbershop in black neighborhoods in black America should be that way. When the young guys come into there to get a haircut, there should be conversations about educating them, telling them how important it is for them to graduate and grow up to be something. Because a lot of black males don't grow up. They stay childlike because they don't know how to be a man. And that makes them very disrespectful to any woman, their mom, and any woman out there. If you're not the father, if you're not that Disney father, that father that's always there, the father that's going to be like, okay, well, hey, I got to get to my son a PTA meeting. He the one is on the phone with mom when there's a meeting going on with mom and the student head of student the meetings the conferences the athletic events, everything. That father is there. He don't have no excuse not to be there. And when you guys do not take care of your sons, that's when we have a very high crime rate. When you're absent, when you're a deadbeat father, when you're not there to guide your son, just drop off things and go. And when you get him, you drop him off somewhere else and you're gone. Out on a date, and your son is at his mother, the grandmother, but you're not there. You're out on a date. You're hanging out with your homeboys. I think that once you become a father, your life of partying is over. Hanging out at clubs, hanging out with your homies, you know, you all really need to step up. You do. Now, I'm not doing this podcast to hurt your feelings or call you out, shine a light on you. If you feel that way, then maybe you're doing exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. If you're offended by what I'm saying, then you need to tighten up on your backstroke. You need to be more engaged with your kid because you never know what could happen. Now, let me tell you now, single mothers are not, all of us are not deadbeat. We are not engaged. It's a lot of us who are out here and we take up the slack that the father don't do. Like taking our sons to the barbershop, taking him shopping for shoes, his clothing for the summer, getting him in certain kind of athletic sports, football, karate, anything. The single mother does that. We are there to show him what a woman is supposed to be like in his life. And you're supposed to be there to show him what a man is supposed to be like to a woman. Don't put anything before him, especially if he has your whole name. He's a junior or the third. If he the third, then that's very special because not only does he have your name, he has your father's name as well. That's a generation child. How could you leave your generation child to the hands of the street for the judge to be his mother and prison to be his home? I looked up the word husband and it means house band, like he a rubber band. He holds the house together. He's a house band. He sets boundaries in his home. He's there. You don't definitely have to be a husband or whatever boyfriend. You have to just focus on taking care of your son, shining the light on your kid, being a great and wonderful male figure because there's a lot of lost little boys out there that are walking and riding around in a grown man body, but their minds are childish. The things that they do are childish. They make mistakes because you're not there for to guide them. In Black America, there are very few Disney dads, but a whole lot of deadbeat ones, a whole lot of invisible ones, peekaboo dads. I'm here, now I'm gone. I'm here, now I'm gone. And when you're here, you're not doing nothing. And when you're gone, he doesn't see you. He don't know what you're doing. Black fathers all over the land and Black America, you are a part of what we need to stop Black on Black crime. Now, I met a father. in Atlanta. His name was Mark. He took care of his children like a woman. School clothes, Christmas, going to get benefits, whatever he needed to do for his daughter and his son, he did that. Nothing came before his children. No one, nothing. And Mark, if you're out there, Mark Clark of Brandywine, Maryland, I love you, boo. I surely appreciate the time that you spent with me and mine. There are very few guys out there like him. Very few. But there's a whole lot of deadbeat dads just making these kids and leaving them. What I can tell you is this: we'll have a lot more responsible black men if we had strong black fathers in their life. Why do you think they have to roam in groups? Why do you think they got to hang out with their buddies? They look at these people as a father figure. They have a lot of homeboys. Homeboy. You hear that name? Boy. They're not going to finish school, some of them. And they will not be there for their own children because of you not stepping up and being there. No, a responsibility that a black mother has who is single is one thing that we have to teach our brown boys while they brown little boys before they grow up to be a beautiful brown man, okay, is respect women. Respect women, respect yourself. If you respect yourself, then others can't help but respect you. If we're single moms, as they get older and they start to learn how to drive, we have to tell our brown boys, if the police pull you over, do everything he say. Keep your hand on the steering wheel. And if he tell you to give him something, you look at him and say, "Sir, it's over here. Can I reach over and get it for you?" "Sure," the officer would say, and he'll go get it. Don't make no false moves or anything because they can hurt you. They can hurt you bad. And that'll be their story against your story if you live to tell. Now, fathers, black fathers in black America, I'm going to need you to visit your sons often. I'm going to need you to stop putting people and things before your sons. I'm going to need you to man up and be a man. It doesn't matter if you with the mama or not. She didn't make that baby by herself. We do good, you know. We do great. But your presence is needed. Your advice is needed. Really. I had a young man I talked to. He was so in love with this young lady, and he went shopping for her on Valentine's Day. And he had a card, he had perfume, a teddy bear, and flowers and chocolates. And when he came through the door with that, his uncle saw him and said, "What you doing with that?" And he goes, "Oh, this is for my girl. You bought a chick all that? Shoot, only thing I give my chick is you know what. And I got plenty." The young man said, "Well, nah, my sweetheart is special to me. I love her. She loves me, and I love her. She's awesome, a force to be reckoned with, and one day I'm going to marry her." His uncle replied, "Don't you let no beep trap you like that. Look at me." And he looked at his uncle. 10 dang on kids from 10 women, some unaccounted for, so he could at least have about 14. Women in and out of his life. Women fighting teeth and nail. He on child support. He doing all of everything a deadbeat father would be doing. Making more babies, not taking care of the ones that he had. And you know what that young man told him? He said to him, "Uncle, big unc, I don't mean no disrespect, but when me and my girl decide to get married and we settle down, I want to be there for my children. I don't want her fighting with other females in the street over me. I don't want to put her life in danger of some killer side piece, some woman who don't know her boundaries and want to be acknowledged. I'm not going to do her like that. And if we do split up, we will be friends because I've got a beat in my son's life." Now, that young man is so intelligent. And he grew up and married that woman too. He really did. And they had 6 sons and 1 daughter. And they're still together right now today because his father was there to teach him. And his grandparents were together in their old age. They had pictures of their wedding day when they were young people. That is an example that his grandfather set for his father and his father set for him. So, guys, out there, you uncles, you playboy uncles, playboy big cousins, don't teach our little angels that how to use women, belittle them, put them down, have these crazy side piece chicks bothering their woman, their children's mother. Man up. If you don't have any good advice to teach a young black male, I suggest that you just keep quiet. We don't need no more like you. No more. So all of you Disney dads, mwah, I love you guys so much. I admire, I love you, I commend you. And this podcast is dedicated to black men like you because you are always there. Come rain or shine, you're there for your kids. You raise your sons, and we appreciate that. Even if we're not with you, we appreciate your presence. We appreciate the way you take up time with your son, the way you love him, the way you don't put anything or anyone before your son. You are awesome, wonderful. You are true black men, true sons of God. And we love you guys for that. You guys have a wonderful life. Like my podcast. Give me your comments because I am waiting for you to subscribe so we can look and look and look and look and uplift the strong black man in Black America. Denise, love you all. Thank you.